Anecdotal evidence and some research suggests that acupuncture can effectively treat insomnia. And I'd like to read you one quote where acupuncture not only helped a person's insomnia, but it helped balance her whole nervous system as well. Brent Oatley and Chris Rogers, there's no way to express how your calm, abiding, crazy needle ninja skills kept me together. Thank you to everyone who works at the Wasatch Community Acupuncture for providing low-cost acupuncture so I could rebuild my nervous system. Your nonprofit clinic is a vision of solid social justice work in healthcare. Thank you also to the People's Organization of Community Acupuncture, building the model of affordable and accessible acupuncture to reduce individual and collective suffering. I don't know how I would make it without you. That quote is from Melissa Boyd in her excellent book, Blood Orange Night. And so I talked about Melissa in a past episode, and Melissa basically had trouble sleeping while she was pregnant. Eventually, she got put on Ambien CR plus antihistamines to help her go to sleep. When that stopped working, she went on Ativan, and she got severely addicted to Ativan and started having psychotic episodes while on Ativan. So basically, one of the things she used to help her make it through this period, she had a sympathetic doctor who was an expert in getting people off benzodiazepines, which is the class that Ambien and Valium is on, or Ativan and Valium is in. So she had other support, but she said that the acupuncturist really helped. And one of the things I wanted to point out, I was excited to read about this because this sheds light on community acupuncture. So we all know or have a concept of like the acupuncturist is like a regular doctor. So we make an appointment and we go. Well, in pretty much all the major cities in America, certainly in the East Coast and West Coast, there are community acupuncture clinics. And the nice thing about these community acupuncture clinics is they often treat people in a circle. So you have group treatments, and they almost all have sliding scale. And that's why Melissa is so happy about her community acupuncture place, because they provide more low-cost treatment. By treating people in a group, they can have low-cost treatment. So certainly if people have chronic health problems, chronic pain, chronic sleep disorders, one of the things you might want to consider is acupuncture. And if funds are low, or you just want more flexibility about when you can get appointments, you might want to look into community acupuncture clinics in your nearby area. So we all know that there are millions and millions of people across the globe that have insomnia. It's estimated that 50 to 70 million adults in the United States have sleep disorders. And so that's an awful lot of people. And so what are the real causes of insomnia? Well, one of the causes is acute and chronic pain. So one of the reasons that acupuncture can really be helpful for insomnia is that it can rebalance conditions such as acute and chronic pain, anxiety and depression, digestive disorders, pain, other type of women's health issues besides pain and dysmenorrhea. And then, of course, there's insomnia and or fatigue. So many of our patients with long COVID and chronic fatigue syndrome also have sleep problems, which interferes with their ability to get exercise and then interferes with their ability to fall asleep. And so in a US News and World Report, they actually talked to a doctor named Dr. Tharp, who treats patients with acupuncture, treats patients with acupuncture in the Seattle area. And one of the clients was a woman in a menopausal age experiencing hot flashes named Christy. And Christy wrote, "I have this really intense hot flash. It would wake me up. I'd have anxiety because I knew It would take a little while, and I'd have a hard time getting back to sleep. The hot flashes were intense as a famous scene from the horror movie Alien, starring Sigourney Weaver. When the hot flashes hit me, I felt like I had an alien in my torso and my chest was going to explode. It was getting to the point where I wasn't functioning. I was close to suicidal. I couldn't live like this. I was exhausted and emotionally spent trying to figure out what to do. So Christy went to her primary care physician, who recommended an antidepressant that didn't work. So she went to Dr. Tharp, an acupuncturist, and found that she was no longer experiencing problems at night, no more hot flashes, and gradually she was able to sleep more soundly. So she started seeing results within a first couple of weeks. Then there was another of Dr. Tharp's patients that was written up in US News and World Report, and it was a yoga teacher named Hillary. And Hillary felt a sharp pinch in her shoulder, and she was unable to elevate her shoulder. And a chiropractor she went to recommended acupuncture. And Hillary was also suffering from insomnia. And Dr. Tharp, the acupuncturist, asked her numerous questions about her lifestyle, including questions about her sleep. She then treated me for my shoulder, and insomnia and stress by placing needles in her feet. After the first treatment, I could move my shoulder, and I also slept really well. So these are three patients. We talked about Melissa, Christy, and Hillary, who all got treatment, all got results with acupuncture and sleep. So I think that's very, very encouraging. And yes, acupuncture does help men as well who have difficulty falling asleep. Research, there was a meta-analysis published in the journal Sleep Medicine in May 22, and it suggested that with basically that multiple acupuncture therapies showed impressive insomnia improvement. And the researchers in sleep medicine analyzed 57 different randomized controlled trials, which are the best type of scientific evidence. And so there are many causes of insomnia. We talked about anxiety, depression, circadian rhythm disorders, medication, pain, poor sleep habits, sleep disordered breathing, and sleeping on worn out or low quality mattresses. These can all cause insomnia. Now, what's really neat about acupuncture is that it addresses all of these situations. So it's not just you go to the doctor and you get an antidepressant for the hot flashes, or you go to the doctor and you get Ambien or another sleep medicine. This is really, how can we use acupuncture and herbs, if you're lucky enough to go to an acupuncturist who can prescribe Chinese herbs, who will address multiple areas. So we talked about one of the women who had shoulder pain and insomnia. It worked for both the insomnia and the shoulder pain. We talked about another woman who had hot flashes and insomnia. Acupuncture treatments over time resolve both the hot flashes and the insomnia. So I really want to suggest the idea of considering, particularly if you have chronic insomnia, it's been 1, 2, 5, 10, 15 years, and you just haven't slept well, I would highly recommend that you go to an acupuncturist who also can recommend Chinese herbs for sleep. And this is because at the point where you have chronic insomnia, you need to have somebody help you find out, why do you have insomnia? What's the root cause of the insomnia? And how can we address this through diet, lifestyle, Chinese herbs? That's what Chinese medical doctors do. They emphasize diet, lifestyle, Chinese herbs, and also acupuncture. The other thing I want to mention is that if you are going to go for acupuncture for insomnia, you might want to consider going to a community clinic, community acupuncture clinic. This is just great for people who've never tried acupuncture before. You're a little scared or something. This will help, allay your fears. But I do want to say that it's not a one-shot deal. It's not like you go to the acupuncturist once and you have no more insomnia. Last time I was in China, one of my guides, translators, also got treatment in China for sleep disorder. And she knew she could have used, even though she's in China, she could have used something like Ambien, but she really wanted to get at the cause. So she saw an acupuncturist who also used herbs in China. And it took basically 6 months, but her whole sleep cycle rebalanced and she was able to get 7 or 8 hours of sleep a night. So acupuncture definitely works for insomnia, but you definitely want to try making sure your acupuncturist can advise you about diet, lifestyle, who can recommend some herbs. And then finally, I would recommend that you don't give up too quickly. Now, I mentioned that this was written in a U.S. News and World Report article. And they do mention that if you're trying to find an acupuncturist in your area, what's the best way is to ask your friends or family. The next two best ways are to look at the website for the National Certification Commission for Acupuncture and Oriental Medicine. It's abbreviated as NCCAOM. So they have a website. And another one you could look into is the California Acupuncture Board. So this would be as if you live in California and you want to see a California acupuncturist. Please go to acupuncture.ca.gov. Also, interestingly enough, in the U.S. News and World Report study, they said, check with your insurance provider to see if they cover acupuncture treatments. And that's a good comment because almost no insurance companies will cover acupuncture for insomnia. That's right. Almost no insurance companies will cover acupuncture for insomnia. But certainly in California, most insurance companies will cover somebody who has pain and poor sleep. Okay, so they won't cover acupuncture directly, but they may cover acupuncture if it's affiliated or associated with a pain condition. This concludes our podcast for today. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please comment below and let us know what topics you'd like to hear about. And be sure to like and subscribe to help us grow our channel. If you'd like to know more about us, please visit our website at getwellfoundation.org. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.